Welcome to TET Online Tutorial, an initiative for competitive Sikkim, learning Sikkim, and leading Sikkim. Welcome. Hello everyone. Welcome to today's session where we will be discussing few questions related to inclusive education and NEP 2020 and NPE 1986. But before moving on with our session, I would like to talk about few things. First is we are about to reach 1k subscriber on YouTube, and the second is we the TET team will be conducting one final mock test on 29th August, that is tomorrow, right? This is a great opportunity for the aspirants to practice for the upcoming exam. You this boliko mock test say it will be of 150 marks kai, just like how estate ko question paper हुन्छ त्यसरी नै similar pattern may we will be conducting this mock test, which will start from 6 p.m. to 8 p.m. So whoever is interested, please leave a comment. So without further ado, I would like to start with today's lesson. So, the first question is, what would be the appropriate way of educating on gender sensitivity in the classroom? Gender sensitivity like को बारेमा एडुकेट गर्नुको लागि चाहिँ appropriate way चाहिँ के हुन्छ भनेर भन्दैछ क्वेशनले. First is paying more attention to girls in the classroom. 2. Encouraging students to speak on behalf of the gender. 3. Forming mixed group for activities without any gender bias. 4. Sensitizing boys about gender equality to promote gender sensitivity. And you have to choose the correct option from option A 2 and 4, B 1 and 3, C only 3, D only 4. Okay, so the correct option is option C. Only 3. Forming mixed group for activities without any gender bias. किनभने the remaining 3 जति पनि तपाईहरुको options छ त्यसले चाहिँ somehow it is providing like अलिकति biasness खालके provide गर्दछ है. So let's move on to next question. Moving on to the second question, that is, in a multicultural classroom, a teacher encourages her students to collaborate and work in small groups. She makes sure that students from different social and cultural backgrounds and different learning needs get an opportunity to work together. This type of activity promotes A. Segregation, B. Inclusion, C. Exclusion, D. Association. I'm sure यसको आन्सर त तपाईहरुलाई थाहा नै होला. That is option B, inclusion. Because inclusive education or inclusive classroom मा कस्तो हुन्छ भन्दाखेरि चाहिँ no matter what your background is, no matter your level learning style is, एउटा नानीलाई चाहिँ नानी जस्तै ट्रिट गरेर विदिन अ क्लासरुम सेटिङ जब हामीले सबै नानीहरूलाई टुगेदर लिएर पढाउँछ, that is inclusion. Okay? Moving on to question number 3. A teacher notices that a child is unable to differentiate between the words top and pot, was and saw, and felt and left. This child is showing symptoms of. Options are dyslexia, dyspraxia, dysnomia, dyscalculia. The correct answer is dyslexia. This is a question which is related to learning disabilities in children. Okay, the fourth question. Srijana, a grade 5 student, was being bullied by her classmates for stammering. Stammering in the sense, bokbakinu, and she was continuously bullied by her peers during the school assembly and lunch break, and suddenly she stopped coming to school. What would be the most appropriate way to address this issue in स्कुल सो यहाँ तपाईँलाई सिनारियो दिएको छ है एउटा नानी छ अरे सृजना भन्ने जसलाई चाहिँ साथीहरूले बुली गर्दैछ बिकज सी स्ट्यामर्स है बकबकेर बोल्छ र चाहिँ साथीहरूले पुरा बुली गर्दैछ एन्ड देन बुली भएर भएर चाहिँ सी स्टप्स कमिङ टु द स्कुल एज अ टिचर है तपाईँहरूले चाहिँ वाट वुड बी द मोस्ट अप्रोप्रिएट वे टु एड्रेस दिस इस्यु इन स्कुल दिस इज वाट द क्वेसन इज प्रोभाइडिङ अ सिनारियो टु यु अल सो बेस्ड अन द्याट तपाईँले अप्रोप्रिएट वे चाहिँ चुज गर्नु पर्यो अप्सन ए इज आइडेन्टिफाई एन्ड एक्सपेल द बुलिज फ्रम द स्कुल B. Have a dialogue around Srijana's feelings and emotions. C. Make Srijana sit separately to protect her from the bullies. D. Ignore the bullies one last time. So, I'm sure you थाहा भएको कुरा हो. So, the correct option is option B. Have a dialogue around Srijana's feelings and emotions. Question number 5. Multilingualism as a resource in education aims at I'm sure तपाईँहरूलाई थाहा छ कि मल्टिलिङ्गुअलिजम भनेको के हो भनेर युज अफ मल्टिपल ल्याङ्ग्वेजेस है एउटा क्लासरुम सेटिङमा पढाउँदाखेरि जब मोड अफ इन्स्ट्रक्सन चाहिँ वेन यु आर युजिङ नट जस्ट इङ्ग्लिस तर रिजनल ल्याङ्ग्वेजलाई पनि तपाईँले टुगेदर अलङ विथ इङ्ग्लिस पढाउँदैछ नानीहरूलाई एउटा कन्सेप्ट क्लियर गर्नुको लागि चलाउँदैछ भने द्याट इज मल्टिलिङ्गुअलिजम है अप्सन ए इज युजिङ क्लासिकल ल्याङ्ग्वेजेस फर टिचिङ लर्निङ अप्सन बी making learners learn as many languages as possible. Option C, making use of languages of learners for teaching learning. D, using the mother tongue for cultural education. So, यहाँको the correct option is option C, making use of languages of learners for teaching learning. एउटा क्लासरुम सेटिङमा नानीहरूलाई इङ्ग्लिसमा मात्रै कन्सेप्ट क्लियर गर्नु अब खोज्यो भने चाहिँ इट विल नट बी पोसिबल बिकज नानीहरूको अन्डरस्ट्यान्डिङ लेभल अलिकति लो नै हुन्छ सो इन अर्डर टु मेक अ कन्सेप्ट क्लियर टु द स्टुडेन्ट्स हामीले चाहिँ के पनि चलाउनुपर्छ भन्दाखेरि चाहिँ मदर ल्याङ्ग्वेज है मदर ल्याङ्ग्वेज अफ द्याट चाइल्ड पनि युज गरेर एन्ड अलङ विथ इङ्ग्लिस वी क्यान मेक अ कन्सेप्ट क्लियर टु द स्टुडेन्ट्स ओके क्वेसन 6 मिस डोमा identifies two students with visual difficulties. तपाईहरूले क्वेसनहरू जब पनि सल्भ गर्नुहुन्छ त्यति बेला चाहिँ मेक स्योर कि सम इम्पोर्टेन्ट टर्म्सहरू चाहिँ कन्सेप्टहरू चाहिँ लाइन अन्डरलाइन गरेर याद राखिराख्नुहोस् है विथ भिजुअल डिफिकल्टिज इन हर क्लास सी इज प्लानिङ टु assess reading aloud in her students. Which of the following strategies should she adopt so that the assessment is inclusive? Inclusive मा के भन्दैछ भन्दाखेरि चाहिँ नानीमा चाहिँ मोडिफिकेसन होइन वेयर सिस्टममा चाहिँ मोडिफाई गर्नु अकर्डिङ टु द निड्स एन्ड डिमान्ड्स अफ द स्टुडेन्ट्स सो स्टुडेन्ट्सहरूलाई सेन्स अफ बिलोङ्गिङ आओस् भनेर चाहिँ द्याट इज द मेन एम अफ इन्क्लुसिभ एडुकेसन So your options are she assesses all the students in class using the same reading assessment. B, she asks the parents of the two students with visual difficulties to send her audios of their reading. C, she asks all the students to select leveled texts of their choice both in braille and the print version. D, she singles out the students with visual difficulty while doing assessment. So, what do you think would be the appropriate options? So, yeah, the correct option is option C. She asks all the students to select level text of their choice both in braille and the print version है किन भन्दाखेरि चाहिँ बिकज इन्क्लुसिभ एडुकेसनले के भन्छ भन्दाखेरि चाहिँ नानीहरू irrespective of their background, irrespective of their disabilities or anything like that, नानीहरूलाई चाहिँ एज अ इक्वल फुटिङमा चाहिँ ट्रिट गर्नु एन्ड देन एनी प्रब्लम्स अब लाइक सिडब्लुएसएन नानीहरूलाई के प्रब्लम छ भने अकर्डिङ टु देयर निड्स द होल सिस्टम अर एजुकेसनल इन्स्टिट्युसन सुड मेक चेन्जेस भनेर द्याट इज वाट इज द मेन एम अफ इन्क्लुसिभ एडुकेसन ओके Seventh question. The Right of Persons with Disabilities Act RPWD 2005 was not enough to support the United Nations Convention on the Rights of Persons with Disabilities and was replaced by RPWD Act 2016, RPWD Act 2015, RPWD Act 2014, RPWD Act 2011. So, yeah, the correct option is option A, RPWD Act of 2016. Question 8. A teacher provides visual aids and sign language interpretation to a child with hearing impairment. This is an example of A. Adaptation, B. Accommodation, C. Modification, D. Substitution. This question is also related to inclusive education. So, yeah, the correct option is option B, accommodation. किन चाहिँ accommodation भन्छ भन्दाखेरि चाहिँ because accommodation means providing support to help a child access to the same curriculum as normal child है यहाँ पनि teacher is providing visual aids or sign language interpretation to child with hearing impairment, so therefore option B is the correct answer. Moving on to the next question, Rita pointed out a common mistake in a textbook. She asked her teacher, why every time an example is cited, only he, him is written, why not she, her? The teacher was surprised to hear such a question and told her that this is an example of option A, gender stereotyping, B, gender equality, C, gender identity, D, gender role. So, isma चाहिँ the correct option is option A, gender stereotyping. Coming to the 10th question, inclusive education primarily aims at A, special schools for differently abled learners, B, integrating children with disabilities into mainstream education, C, providing same curriculum for all learners without modification, D, segregation of students based on ability. So the correct option is option B, integrating children with disabilities into mainstream education. Because in an inclusive education, we teach all children together in regular school regardless of their disability, gender, caste or background. Okay, because inclusive education pani it also ensures participation of all children and removes any barriers in learning. 11th question, which of the following is not a characteristics of inclusive education? यहाँ question मजाले पढ्नुस् है, not भनेर भन्दैछ. Which of the following is not a characteristics of inclusive education? Option A, respecting diversity in classroom. यो त obviously inclusive education मै आइहाल्छ. B, same teaching strategy for all learners. C, flexible curriculum and teaching methods, D. removing barriers to learning. Yeah, the correct option is B. Same teaching strategy for all learners. किनभने एउटै strategy in a classroom setting there are different diverse learners है कतिजना छिटो पढ्ने हुन्छ कतिलाई ढिलो पढ्ने हुन्छ सो फर अल दोज लर्नर्स हामीले एउटै टिचिङ स्ट्राटेजी अडप्ट गर्नु सक्दैन सो देयरफोर द्याट इज नट अ क्यारेक्टरिस्टिक्स अफ इन्क्लुसिभ एडुकेसन ओके Next question. A teacher notices a child with hearing impairment is struggling. The most inclusive step would be A. Shift the child to a special school. B. Use sign language visual aids along with normal teaching. C. Reduce the syllabus for the child. D. Ignore the issue as it may improve later. सो आइम स्योर तपाईँले अप्सन देखेर नै चाल पाउनु भयो होला कि कुन चाहिँ करेक्ट अप्सन हो भनेर इन्क्लुसिभ स्टेप चाहिँ द्याट इज अप्सन बी युज साइन ल्याङ्ग्वेज भिजुअल एड्स अलङ विथ नर्मल टिचिङ बिकज द्याट इज वान अफ द एम अफ इन्क्लुसिभ एडुकेसनमा चाहिँ के भन्छ भन्दा चाइल्डलाई चाहिँ चेन्ज नगर चेन्ज द सिस्टम सो अकर्डिङ टु द निड्स एन्ड डिमान्ड्स अफ लर्नर्स the school should change its system. Okay, question number 13. Inclusive education mainly focuses on A. Normal children, B. Gifted children, C. Children with special needs only, D. All children including those with special needs. So, is by no doubt the correct option is option number D. All children including those with special needs. Question number 14. NEP 2020 emphasizes teaching in A. English only, B. Regional language till class 12, C. Mother tongue or regional language at least till class 5, D. Hindi till class 8. सो एनइपी 2020ले पनि इट हेज एम्फसाइज्ड अन 3 ल्याङ्ग्वेज पोलिसी है तर के भन्छ भन्दाखेरि चाहिँ मदर टङ र यो रिजनल ल्याङ्ग्वेज छ जुन चाहिँ लर्नरको त्यो चाहिँ एटलिस्ट क्लास 5सम्म चाहिँ त्यो ल्याङ्ग्वेजमा चाहिँ एम्फसाइज गरेर नानीहरूलाई चाहिँ पढाउनु भनेर द्याट इज वाट द NEP 2020 has emphasized on. So therefore the correct option is option C, mother tongue or regional language at least till class 5. So that was all about today's session. I hope you all enjoyed the session and very I would like to remind you all that tomorrow on 29th August TET online tutorial will be conducting the very last and final mock test for which tapairu if you all are interested do contact us and यो एक्जाम चाहिँ यो मक टेस्ट चाहिँ कति बजेदेखि कति बजेसम्म हुन्छ भन्दाखेरि चाहिँ बेलुकाको 6 बजेदेखि 8:30 बजेसम्म थ्याङ्क यू फर वाचिङ Don't forget to like, share and subscribe to our channel. Your support keeps us going. See you in the next video.